Licensure Examination for teachers. Subject: Social Sciences. General Education, for both elementary and secondary. Topic: Basic Economics, Taxation, and Agrarian Reform. Question number 1. The economic condition characterized by a general increase in prices and a corresponding decrease in the purchasing power of money is known as A. Recession, B. Depression, C. Inflation, D. Stagflation. Correct answer: C. Inflation. Why C is correct? Inflation is defined by a sustained increase in the general price level of goods and services, which logically reduces the amount of goods and services that a unit of money can buy, purchasing power. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. Recession. A decline in economic activity, characterized by high unemployment and reduced gross domestic product, GDP. B. Depression. A severe and prolonged recession. D. Stagflation. A combination of economic stagnation, low growth and high unemployment, and high inflation. The question only describes the price-power relationship. Edge knowledge. Think price increase, power decrease. The root word is inflate, to swell up, increase. When prices swell up, the money's value deflates. Question number 2. Which principle of taxation suggests that taxes should be based on the taxpayer's ability to pay, meaning those who earn more should pay a higher percentage of their income in taxes? A. Principle of fiscal adequacy. B. Principle of administrative feasibility. C. Principle of theoretical justice, equity. D. Principle of progressive taxation. Correct answer: C. Principle of theoretical justice, equity. Why C is correct? The principle of theoretical justice, also called equity, requires that taxation must be fair, reasonable, and proportional. This is the foundation for the concept of ability to pay, which justifies progressive tax systems. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. Principle of fiscal adequacy requires that the tax collection must be sufficient to cover government expenditures. B. Principle of administrative feasibility requires that the tax system should be easy to administer and enforce. D. Principle of progressive taxation. While this system implements the ability to pay concept, the principle of theoretical justice is the fundamental ethical foundation that justifies it. Edge knowledge. When the question asks for the underlying principle or foundation, the answer is usually the broader concept. Justice, equity is the ethical reason, progressive is the structural mechanism. Question number 3. Under the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program, CARP, the ultimate goal is to achieve social justice by transferring land to the tillers. What is the maximum land area that a landowner is allowed to retain? A. 3 hectares. B. 5 hectares. C. 7 hectares. D. 10 hectares. Correct answer: B. 5 hectares. Why B is correct? Republic Act No. 6657, CARP Law, specifies that the maximum land area a landowner can retain is 5 hectares. Qualified heirs of the landowner are also entitled to 3 hectares each. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. 3 hectares. This is the size allowed for each qualified heir, not the main landowner's retention limit. C and D. These exceed the legally mandated retention limit of 5 hectares. Edge knowledge. Memorize the magic number for CARP, 5 hectares. This number represents the legal limit for retaining property, designed to balance the right to private property with the government's social justice mandate. Question number 4. If the total final value of all goods and services produced in the Philippines in 1 year is 10 billion pesos, and the population is 100 million, what is the approximate GDP per capita, in pesos? A. 100 pesos. B. 1,000 pesos. C. 10,000 pesos. D. 100,000 pesos. Correct answer: A. 100 pesos. Why A is correct? GDP per capita is calculated by dividing the total gross domestic product, GDP, by the total population. GDP per capita equals total GDP over total population. GDP per capita equals 10 billion over 100 million. To simplify, cancel out the zeros. 10 zeros in the numerator, 8 zeros in the denominator. 100 over 1 equals 100. The GDP per capita is 100 pesos. Why the wrong answers are wrong? B, C, and D. These result from miscounting the zeros or dividing incorrectly. Edge knowledge. When dealing with large numbers, use the power of cancellation. 10 billion divided by 100 million is 10 billion over 100 million. Cancel the 8 zeros in the denominator with 8 zeros in the numerator, leaving 100 over 1 equals 100. Question number 5. The economic term that refers to the problem of having unlimited wants and needs but limited resources is known as A. Opportunity cost, B. Trade-off, C. Scarcity, D. Rational choice. Correct answer, C. Scarcity. Why C is correct? Scarcity is the fundamental, most basic problem of economics. It exists because the available resources, factors of production, are insufficient to satisfy all human wants and needs. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. Opportunity cost. The value of the next best alternative foregone when a choice is made. It's a result of scarcity. B. Trade-off. The act of giving up one thing for another. It's a result of scarcity. D. Rational choice. The decision-making process where individuals choose the option that gives the greatest benefit for the least cost. Edge knowledge. Scarcity is the source of all economic study. If resources were unlimited, there would be no need for economics. It's the foundation concept. Question number 6. Which type of tax is levied directly on the income of an individual or an organization and cannot be shifted to another person? A. Excise tax. B. Direct tax. C. Indirect tax. D. Value-added tax, VAT. Correct answer, B. Direct tax. Why B is correct? A direct tax, like income tax or property tax, is a tax paid directly by the person or entity on whom it is imposed. The burden of payment cannot be transferred or shifted to a third party. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A, C, and D, VAT. These are all forms of indirect taxes. They are levied on goods and services, and the legal payer, the seller, can shift the burden of the tax to the final consumer, the buyer, through higher prices. Edge knowledge. Think shifting. If the tax cannot be shifted, e.g., your salary tax, it is direct. If it can be shifted, e.g., sales tax, it is indirect. Question number 7. What is the primary government agency responsible for the implementation and administration of the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program, CARP? A. Department of Agriculture, DA. B. Department of Environment and Natural Resources, DENR. C. Department of Agrarian Reform, DAR. D. National Economic and Development Authority, NEDA. Correct answer, C. Department of Agrarian Reform, DAR. Why C is correct? The Department of Agrarian Reform, DAR, is the lead government agency specifically mandated by the CARP law, RA 6657, to implement all phases of the program, including land acquisition, distribution, and provision of support services to the beneficiaries. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. DA focuses on increasing agricultural production, not land distribution. B. DENR focuses on public lands and natural resources, not private agricultural land reform. D. NEDA, the Central Planning Agency for Economic Development, not an implementing agency for land reform. Edge knowledge. The function is in the name. Agrarian Reform. Department of Agrarian Reform, DAR. This agency was created solely for the purpose of executing the CARP mandate. Question number 8. The total income received by the owners of the factors of production, land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship, in an economy is generally referred to as A. Gross Domestic Product, GDP. B. National Income, NI. C. Disposable Income, DI. D. Gross National Product, GNP. Correct answer, B. National Income, NI. Why B is correct? National income is defined as the sum of all income earned by residents of a country for their contribution to production. This includes wages, labor, rent, land, interest, capital, and profit, entrepreneurship. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. GDP measures the total value of goods and services produced within a country's borders. Production measure. C. DI. Income remaining after deductions and taxes, available for spending or saving, consumption measure. D. GNP measures the total value of goods and services produced by a country's residents, regardless of location. Production measure. Edge knowledge. Think income. The question asks for the income received by the factors. Only national income measures the economy based on the income side, wages, rent, profit. GDP, GNP measure the output side, production. Question number 9. A regressive tax system is one where a. The tax rate increases as the income base increases. b. The tax rate decreases as the income base increases. c. The tax rate remains the same regardless of the income base. d. The tax burden is shared equally among all income groups. Correct answer. B. The tax rate decreases as the income base increases. Why B is correct? In a regressive tax system, the proportion of income paid in tax is higher for low-income earners than for high-income earners. This happens when the rate decreases as income increases, or, more commonly in practice, when a flat tax, like VAT, disproportionately affects the poor. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. Progressive. The tax rate increases as the income base increases, e.g., Philippine income tax. C. Proportional, flat. The tax rate is constant across all income levels, e.g., 10% regardless of income. D. Shared equally. This confuses the burden with the rate. Edge knowledge. Think inverse. Progressive, rich pay increase rate. Regressive, poor pay increase rate. The rate regresses, goes down, as your income level goes up. Question number 10. Which key provision of the 1987 Constitution serves as the primary legal basis and mandate for the implementation of the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program, CARP? A. The Article on National Economy and Patrimony. B. The Article on Social Justice and Human Rights. C. The Article on Local Government. D. The Article on Education. Correct answer. B. The Article on Social Justice and Human Rights. Why B is correct? Article 13, Social Justice and Human Rights, is where the constitutional command for agrarian and natural resources reform is explicitly laid out. Section 4 specifically mandates the state to undertake an agrarian reform program based on the right of farmers to own the lands they till. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. National economy. While relevant to economic policy, it doesn't contain the direct mandate for land distribution. C. And D. These articles deal with decentralized governance and the education system, respectively. Edge knowledge. Land ownership and distribution is the historical core of inequality in the Philippines. Therefore, the legal basis for agrarian reform must be found in the article dedicated to correcting these historical injustices, social justice. If this video gave you an edge, sharpen that like button and subscribe to stay ahead.